just talk to us about how you got started here. I know your dad had time on the Busch North Series. Was he the first guy in the family to race?
No, so actually my grandfather was the first one to actually get the kind of the horsepower bug. He drag raced way back in the day when they do like the airport drags.
Oh, yeah.
So they actually called him Sleepy Jack because he was laid on the tree every time, but he had the big smoke under the hood and always would drive around people. And then my father actually got hooked up with the Seymour family and traveled the country
Like
with
the midget family?
Yeah.
Okay,
so
yeah.
he traveled the country with them back when Schrader was driving for him, and Michael and Bobby Seymour were racing. And I think the mid 80s came around and he built a late model or street stock to go up to Lee Speedway.
Yep.
Started doing that deal, had some success at Lee, and then somehow, one way or another, my grandfather ended up getting the New England Pontiac dealer sponsorship for my father, and from that point on, it was all in. My dad had the operation to have. They had brand new cars, brand new motors. They were kind of in the midst of the time of the V8, V6 time.
It was a terrible era.
Really?
Wow.
Why do you say I wasn't
Because
alive,
there was
so.
a lot of people in between there that were spending a shit ton of money
What
on
are we talking here? Like
motors.
Early to mid 90s? Like
was that 90s or late 80s?
It would have had to have been 90s because
90s,
Dad
yeah.
was racing.
Yeah, so 90s. I remember that whole thing. I talk about it with Bob Hayes all the time. They were getting rid of one. They would build a V6, spend all kinds of smoke on the V6. Then the next year, they're back to V8s. But like these guys are spending 70, 80,000 on a motor. Wow. The next year, it's worth $4,000.
In the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Right. I mean, these teams are, I mean, God.
That's a lot of money for back then.
It was. And they were doing it. I complained to Bob about ACT changing their rules every year. And I'm like, dude, I just spent $4,000 on carburetors. Now you can't use them.
Yeah.
Right. He's like, well, you should have been back in the day when I was building V6s.
Yeah.
And they went to V8s.
So Dad did the Busch thing, and then he just never could get the right people to help him. He himself, I think, had pretty good driving ability. Because the couple times that he could get good help, a crew chief, and just good people at the racetrack to help him, he performed. Yeah. Like he won a pole one time. We got a couple top 10s, and back then in the Busch series, that
was like
big deal.
No joke back then.
Like they went to he tells me all the time they went to Loudon once. There was over 100 Busch cars.
Yeah,
I believe it.
And like he made the race, so like that alone was a feat.
I saw a lot of that doing the Stefanik doc, like those twin events they'd have at Loudon, and they would have like 3 or 4 a year, where the mods and the Busch North would go up there.
Serious.
And they'd get like 100 cars between the two series. It was ridiculous, man, all the time. And you'd get people like Reggie and Stefanik and Mike McLaughlin and the Fuller brothers
doing
and Teddy
both.
that would race both. Yeah. Yep. Cool times.
So he did that, and then towards the late 90s, I want to say, he kind of said, you know what, I'm all set with driving. I think if I can because my dad back then, he did all the fabricating. You had to weld all the bodies on. He had such a knack for building the cars, setting the cars up. I think he had a Penske deal back then. Like he was building Penske shocks for people down south. Like my dad was a hell of a builder, and he still is. Like he nitpicks everything that I do now and gives me shit about it. But so he kind of decided to step away from the seat and put someone in the car. So he had Jamie Obi drive for him. And then the Busch thing kind of just sailed its course, and they sold the Busch operation off, and then he built Pro Stocks and had Gigi Gravel driving for him.
Wow.
Gigi actually lives right down the street from me now.
Oh, no kidding, really?
Louis Mechelitis drove for him. Trying to think. He helped Jay Cushman for a long time. He was he was pretty big into the Pro Stock stuff.
Yeah.
And then when I started racing, he was dead set against fenders. He wanted nothing to do with fenders. So
that's weird.
Has he ever said like why the change with you?
No. Honestly, the biggest thing was he wanted to race a modified, and my grandfather kind of always put the kibosh to it and said, no, if you're going to race, you're going to race something with fenders, because back then, if you had fenders, it was safer than the wheels hanging out the side.
Yeah.
So he did the pro stock thing, he did the Bush stuff, and my grandfather just never let him run anything with open wheels. And that's kind of what brought him to racing with the midget stuff and sprint car stuff, racing with the Seymours. So when I started racing, we were talking with the Seymours and their family, and they kind of got us hooked on the quarter midget stuff. So we went down to Little T and did that like a Rive and Drive deal.
Yep.
And I instantly fell in love with it.
Was Carl Sherman doing that?
The Shermans were still involved back then. I don't know who was really running the show, but like I started later than a lot of these kids do nowadays. I didn't start racing until I was 8, where you can start racing quarter midgets when you're 5.
Yeah.
Like I was as crazy as that is to say.
I know, it is crazy. I was expecting you to say like 14, 15, and then you dropped 8. I'm like, that's late.
So like when I started, I was racing against kids that were 5 and 6.
Right.
And that, I think that kind of was what kicked off the early, like just what got me moving up the ladder so fast because of my age. But we did the quarter midget thing from 2008 to 2012. And in the same year of 2012, we actually came down to the Speedbowl every week. My father had bought a NEMA Light, and we came down to Waterford every week and practiced the NEMA Light.
Wow.
Because that was the plan for the following year. We were going to go race NEMA and kind of go that route. Well, the plans changed around a little bit, and NEMA had changed their age. So my father ended up taking a liking to 600 micro sprints. So we actually got a car and went to Pennsylvania every week for the first half of 2013 and raced dirt micros.
Just missed Whip City.
Yeah, just missed
Close
Whip.
2012.
Because when
2010.
When I was racing quarter midgets, we raced with the Galcos and people like that went to Whip. So that wasn't really why we did it. We just did it because my father and I fell in love with 600s. So, and 600s in Pennsylvania is no joke. It's like, it is the place to be for 600s.
Is that dirt racing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I did the dirt thing for the first half of 2013, and at the same time, we got connected with an old friend of my father's named Marco Turcott, and he had a Spafco tour-type modified that Kirk Alexander used to drive, and Kenny Barry drove it for a period of time, and he said to my dad that he wanted me to drive his modified. So we kind of brushed it off thinking this guy's crazy. You know, who wants a 13-year-old to drive a tour-type modified? And one day he showed up at the shop at the dealership and unloaded a Spafco car, and we put a seat in it and went up to Star Speedway and practiced it. And the Weber family gave me permission to race, and
Wow.
that's where it all started with the modifieds.
Wow.